Hi.
Good afternoon.
It is afternoon.
I am not well now as well. You have given me your sickness, Typhoid Mary.
We discovered last night, in the bar that it was one of the barmen it's almost certain, was the disease vector. He come in, I'd completely forgotten, and he come in and said, yeah, I was sick on Saturday, and then I went, that's exactly right. And so hanging out with him on Saturday, starting to feel slightly off on Monday, definitely off Tuesday night, like perfect incubation period. And then all we got was, sorry about that, boss. I was like, oh, you bastard. So your worst day will probably be tomorrow then, sadly.
Yeah.
But I'm over it. My whoop strap has returned to my baseline metrics after one day of this isn't very good to this is really not good to you need an ambulance. So now it's better. But
my turn to go.
Yes, it's your turn to bark on camera. I'm still not 100% obviously either, but we don't even know where to start today. What a bin fire the last 24 hours has been. So, and there's, like, I opened the papers today and it is just a sea of
bullshit,
trans and Aboriginal bullshit, and I agree with you, as before we just turned this camera on, it's like, I'm just not giving any of it air anymore. Like, it's just, like...
If you want to talk about something that's important and relevant, I will talk about it.
Yeah.
Like housing, food, medical care, climate change.
Yeah, but like that article
inflation.
I just showed you with the whitest woman in the world in front of some bark hut that she's constructed out of God knows what.
Ken, don't care.
Yeah, I know. And you just look at it and go...
You're a joke. Go away.
How is it anything other than cosplay?
How is it anything apart from cultural appropriation?
Or, this is where I get cancelled, but, like...
Anywho.
And they said Al Jolson was a prick, I don't see how it... Anyway.
Oscar Pistorius was denied patrol. Now I can't even pronounce words.
Well, that was me yesterday.
Parole after 8 years. And I said, I didn't realise it had been 8 years already.
He got convicted of manslaughter, didn't he, in the end? It wasn't... Or was it second-degree murder? Like, I don't think he didn't get done for...
They keep saying the killing.
First degree, premeditated, you killed her.
Yeah, they don't say. Again, ABC's not great at reporting the actual fucking news these days. Yeah, it doesn't say whether it was manslaughter or murder.
But he's one...
Convicted murderer.
Yeah, but second or third degree, I think. Again, as usual, we haven't done our homework, but
yeah.
He was convicted and jailed in South Africa, though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
yeah.
I've worked with South Africans for a while, yeah. In 2013.
Was it that recently? Again...
10 years.
Yeah, I know, but still, I thought it just feels like... It doesn't quite feel like the OJ trial, but it feels like longer than that.
Yeah,
though.
It dragged on, remember. It took him ages to actually get into court because they weren't going to charge him. And then they did.
Yeah.
So...
Blade-legged weirdo.
Yeah. He's still young, though. I think he got sentenced to 13 years, so he's at 8 at the moment.
And that's why I'm saying it's got to be... Even in South Africa, you should get longer than 13 years for whacking a white woman.
So anyway, and then as I said, the other big issue, Gwyneth Paltrow was found not guilty of her Aspen ski accident.
The amount of haters I've seen online talking about that, going, why didn't she just pay him off? And you just go,
Why should she? It's a principle.
Even let's put principle and everything completely to one side for a minute. It's the thin end of the wedge. Oh, she's an easy mark. Oh, I fell down. Yeah, the piles of people throwing themselves at her feet when she's walking down the street. Like, I mean, of course you've got to say no. Yeah. Like, if she's genuinely not negligent and certainly not culpable, it's like, no, I didn't do that, and I'll see you in court, dickhead.
And I saw, did you see, apparently on the way out, she bent down and said something to him, and they all zoomed in and blah, 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 and she said, I wish you well, and walked out. Because he has to pay her $1. That's what she was claiming.
Because that is also a massive fuck you. But the other thing is that, her costs plus $1, and her costs,
would have been, she had expert witnesses. He didn't.
Yeah.
He might have, but she had,
he would have had to have.
She had proper, the ones, as I said, where it says, this does not, what the guy is saying does not obey the laws of physics. Yeah. So anyway, she's not guilty. So I wonder if she'll be selling anything on Goop related to the, instead of this smells like my vagina, this smells like court or something.
Yeah, this smells like the stench of success, victory.
Oh, and there's your mate, but it's not about that. The Pope. You were telling me about the Pope in his jacket this morning.
His Balenciaga jacket.
Elon being a shit stirrer.
Yeah. It just shows you how good quality that the AI fakes are now. So video's over. Video's done. Can't tell anymore. It's really, really done.
Images you can't really tell either.
You can't. Well, images and video are done in... Well, it's not going to be like this, but they're done in an informal setting. Anyone can, I'm sure professionals for some time are going to be able to tell a synthetic video from an actual one. Yeah. But I mean, it's going to be to the level of looking at UFO footage though. So, but if the normals figure it out for now, here's a photo of your husband and if you have any genuine, this sounds like I'm. And at this point, Dr. Goldsmith engages in
how big a bunch of flowers are you buying me?
Yeah, but. If I would say now, if there's any genuine doubt, that's where you should go. Certainly in the person showing it to you or the person that's the subject of it, you should be saying,
no, it's not real, fake news.
That could really be fake news.
Yeah. Unless you're looking for an out for something.
All of those things.
You should be discounting everything, really.
Because my old thing was believe nothing of what you hear and only half of what you see. And now I think it's believe nothing of what you hear and nothing of what that's been recorded. I mean, Jesus.
And daylight savings finishes tonight.
May all their curtains fade.
So it goes backwards.
Yeah.
Spring forward, fall back. Yep.
Yep. So.
And I did read an interesting article about, because do you remember as a kid when it used to finish and start? I can't quite remember, but it didn't seem to go as long as it does now. Because I was reading an article about rural people, farmers, saying that they need it to finish earlier. It's dragging on. It used to finish at the end of summer. I've got
two points to make there. Hilariously, when I lived in Tasmania the first time around, Tasmania wasn't in concert with both Victoria and New South Wales.
Oh, really?
It was an hour.
Like South Australia?
Yeah, it was
South Australia's half an hour behind everyone else.
No, it wasn't that. It was an hour different. And so, funnily enough, but as you well know now, after 4 years in this interesting rocky outpost, that you are sufficiently south here that it does make a difference.
It does.
It really does. However, so that's one thing. The second thing, and here's a hugely controversial view on daylight savings. Why don't we get rid of all daylight savings? Just have Eastern Standard Time for that particular longitude or latitude. I'm ill, I can't remember, the vertical one.
Longitude.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's not like I'm a scientist or anything. What would I know? At different times of the year, maybe start work later.
Well, that's what they were saying. So it was mostly rural guys who were saying that, I can't see in the morning when I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And driving to work, I'm hitting more roadkill. Driving between paddocks, I'm hitting more roadkill. People starting work, kids getting on the bus in the dark.
Here's the thing. and private industry can do it. So from, I don't know, you could roughly match current daylight savings hours ish and say, from in these months or in summer, instead of starting at 8, let's start at 7.
Which is what I learnt
Fuck.
on one of my podcasts that I listened to, one of the American ones. They have summer hours on a Friday in the States in a lot of jobs. You finish at 12 o'clock on a Friday during summer.
Oh, okay.
So that you can go home and have the weekend with your family.
And they just accept the fact that you're just going to dick around or it's too hot.
Yeah,
or,
most people dick around anyway on Friday afternoon, so...
You know.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem... So private industry can do that with simply a rush of blood to the boss's head.
Well,
right.
4-day weeks are coming in now.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah.
And
which might explain some of the people I see around. Because remember, like half the time I go, do you people not have jobs to go to? I don't, but why are you here? Seriously.
That's always the issue with the landed gentry. Haven't you got a job to go to?
Why are you here? And like not just on a Friday, but like on a Wednesday.
When you're also around.
When I'm around, yeah. I'm there all the time. But yeah, why are there so many cars on the road? Where are these people going?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anywho.
But government could certainly just decide, to phase out daylight savings over a couple of years, and or not even that, because that'd cause more hilarity. Just say in 2 years, we're going to do it for 2 more years, and then so you've got a couple of years to get through your thick skull, and then it'll be up to individual departments and individual companies and whoever the fuck to work out, like adults, amongst themselves, how the curvature of the Earth and the tilt of the Earth and their place in the greater solar system affects them and their business, and plan accordingly.
Pre-COVID, which was when I still had a corporate job, they were talking about that in Sydney for months because of the capacity on the trains and capacity on the roads. They're like, we need to start staggering people's start times. Like, I don't know why everyone's still starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. Like, the time has passed. Like, you don't need to start at 9 o'clock in the morning.
In other totalitarian states, not just New South Wales, China does things like that with your number plates on your cars.
Oh, cool.
So odds and evens.
Oh, yeah.
So like the first...
That's good. That's sensible. I could live in China for that bit. The rest of it, not so much.
I'm pretty sure, no, you can't go to the hospital on Tuesday in that car because its number plate starts with an odd number. No, fuck all that.
Where's your little red book? Otherwise you can't get in. Okay.
It would make a lot more sense to, just let people be a little bit more,
Now I think they might be wanting people because of COVID and working at home and stuff. Weren't they trying to get them to come back to work on
they certainly
certain hours?
They certainly are in the city, but
yeah.
I mean, if I owned commercial property in...
I wouldn't be happy in CBD.
I do own... Well, not
here, but Sydney.
We do own commercial property in Sydney, technically. But if I owned a... if I owned office space in fucking Pitt Street or something...
Place.
You'd be... Because you can bet you can, well, I hope so, I don't know, but I'd be very surprised if anyone had actually dropped their rates, because that's not something you do in commercial real estate, ever. So they'd just be there waiting it out.
Yeah.
You might chop it down into smaller bits.
Well, that's why there's just empty bits in pockets. Like Leichhardt was having a big problem with that. Too many empty storefronts. Yeah. Which brings us on to here. A few more things are starting to... The economy is starting to bite a few more people, I think. I
think we're going to make our decision. Again, there's all... We complain about... I think we certainly mentioned this in private discussions. I don't know if we did on the podcast the other day. But there is so many fucking variables here with stupid sporting events that Mexicans must stop everything and watch, which also goes into how do you afford all of this? But anyway, so yeah.
If anyone knows where everyone's money is coming from, please let us know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
How many courses in undergraduate courses did you take in economics and accounting? A few.
Yeah. And I did a commerce degree.
I did a minor in mathematics. Yeah. Between the pair of us, it's like, no idea.
Because I'm not spending as much, so I don't understand how people with less money than me are still spending more.
Well, I hate to break it to you, most people in Tasmania have less money than you. But the
But I'm a cheapskate too.
Yeah, and that's why you have more money than most people in Tasmania.
Sorry, frugal is the word I like. Just rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
Tight. We don't understand.
No.
Don't understand where people's money's coming from.
I'm balking at prices.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the bar, literally for 6 months, longer, maybe 12 months, even during COVID. During COVID it made sense. Where's people money coming from?
They were getting
GovCo.
handouts, yeah. Okay.
And there was definitely, I don't know if I ever mentioned on there was definitely a couple of times where every shithead from
a shit part of town
came into the bar, and they were literally on. There must have been a state government handout as well. Some sort of boost or something, because we had people
who'd never had money, clearly,
with cocktails, just going, let's try this one. Oh, what's this one? And I don't like that one,
and just leave it aside.
And then people
spending like no tomorrow,
like literally like drunken sailors, and making themselves sick on cocktails. Like, well, we're knocking them back. It's like, you can't have any more. Like, if you go from an old fashioned
to a grasshopper,
and now you want to
Long Island iced tea.
No, it was worse than that. I remember this guy. He had an old fashioned, then a grasshopper,
creamy.
So he had 2 shots of Jack Daniels with bitters in it, then a grasshopper. The horrible movie thing. Now I want a margarita. It's like, you'll throw up.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I want it. It's the last drink I'm giving you. All right, and he had it, and he's, I feel sick.
Curdled in your stomach. Yeah.
Why don't I just sell you a cement mixer?
Ugh, that's gross. But anyway, yes, people were spending with gay abandon, and now
for at least the last 6 months, it's like where you can see things slowing down, then you can certainly see everything doubling in price, and I'm just going, where's your money coming from?
Yeah.
Because you fucks, all your credit cards are already maxed out.
Yeah.
So like where I don't get where the money's coming from.
I know there was an up. Didn't they give a boost to one of the handout things, the New Start or something?
Yeah,
but it wasn't very much.
Yeah, no, like again,
it wasn't enough.
Not a cocktail a week maybe.
But it's funny. It's almost like there's a bipolar going on at the moment, because I either see people just spending as per normal, like it's not affecting them at all, or people saying, I can't afford food, full stop. Like, there's a big spectrum, and they're either at one end or the other. And both is ridiculous. Like the guy that you're talking about, that I can't afford, like we're starving and we can't, can somebody please donate us a loaf of bread? It's like, no dude, you want someone to donate you dopamine because you can't. And they said it was multiple people. You can't starve. Couldn't afford a loaf of bread in Australia. You cannot starve in Launceston, Tasmania. And that's when I said can't. That's when I said to you, how much money can I charge a poor person to look at their finances and fix them for it? And I'm like, none. Hang on, they're poor. They haven't got any money. All right. Oh, my usual charge out rate of $400 an hour plus GST, I think is perfectly reasonable. But that's what I honestly would, if someone, but no one will. They're so cagey about that too. No one would actually go. Do you want them to come and look at your finances? No. Yeah. But I'm not saying I can't afford a loaf of bread. No. Because I can. Do you know how I can? Because you don't spend money on this, you spend money on the loaf of bread if you need the loaf of bread. Anyway, but I'd like to sit down, it's curiosity. Show me what you're spending your money on. And filthy voyeurism. Probably. Yes. But I reckon I could get your finances to a point where you could afford that loaf of bread. I reckon I can get them to a point. How much debt have you got? 5,000, and that's ruining your life. Which is what I've got in front of me at the moment, is the Woolworths Fresh Ideas magazine, because I like the free magazines from Coles and Woolworths. They're the 2 biggest magazines in the country, if you didn't know that. You know why? In terms of readership, because they're free. That's correct. And they're at the duopoly of the 2 largest logistical distribution points in the country. But, as I said, every month, so it comes out monthly, every month for at least the last 3 to 4 months, there's, dinner for under $5 a serve. Oh, no, I think it was $10, and now it's down to $5. Because everyone's budget conscious and they're trying to get people... Yeah, dinners under $5 a serve. I swear that's come down. Budget friendly. So I was talking about whether or not... All I want, when you looked at that page, I just thought, what is it, just a box of fish fingers? Well, that's one way to have dinner under $5 a serve. One for you. But as I said to you,
Worked
I think,
in the 80s.
and we were surmising that I reckon I could feed a family of 4 for $100 a week.
Yeah, and my retort to that was that before this inflationary cycle began, I would say I would feed a family of 4 for $100 with bells on, no problem.
Might be 120 now.
Oh, I still think
What's the
you do
inflation rate at the moment?
No, actual or
No, actual.
well,
I know cheese has gone up fucking 40%.
I think the Australian. Well, again,
bang on about cheese
I don't
all
want
the time.
Cheese. I don't want to get on to. It'd have to be. The official rate would have to be like something like fucking 7 or 8%.
Yeah, so I was going to say, if I allow an extra $20,
unofficially, over like saying 7 or 8% per
double
annum,
that.
adjusted and yada yada yada. But I mean, you can look at so many things that have just flat rate doubled, and to double like that, well, that's 5% inflation, but a month, not a year.
So I might do that. As I said, when I'm bored, and I'm sick at the moment, so I might be on the couch and being bored, I'm going to try and put together a shopping list for a family of 4 based on this week's whatever the fuck's in the catalogue.
I think you can do that pretty reasonably.
Well, again, I'll put it on the show notes.
I'll say, yeah, okay.
See if I can get to be viral like that other chicks. Did you see that? Did you see the budget that went viral? And there was like $20,000 for handbags or something in it.
Oh,
like it was.
There was.
Remember that one with
the Australian
kids?
one.
Yeah, the Australian ones.
Yeah.
What was that? It wasn't handbags, but there was.
That was the
parents paying the money was in the budget, and
they had a pretty decent thing, and they had it was $1 million a year household budget. This was an old one, and was and it had the big ticket items that were hilarious in there. It was like had all the school fees in it, but it had $50,000 a year for each one of the kids. We'll have to find it and put that in the show notes too. But it had, I can't remember if it was $50,000 in total or $50,000 each, but it was a chunk of cash that was in their house deposit savings. So it was a fund for the kids to have a house deposit when they were 18 or 21 or whatever. Yeah. And
it was food and for the kid, like they didn't even
food, kid, car costs.
And they were grown adults. They weren't kids. They were like 30-year-olds.
Oh no, it wasn't that.
Wasn't it? I'm sure.
Well,
and there was stuff like getting your nails done and getting a massage and all
it was
sorts
like,
of shit. It's like, okay.
But it was peak. It was
peak North Shore
or peak Bellevue Hill.
Yeah, something.
It was peak Vaucluse.
Peak Whale Beach.
Yeah. I don't think they were in that bad. No, it would have had to be. No, I don't think even Whale Beach is that bad. They've got more money.
Yeah, they're more frugal than me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Big barrel.
I still remember that story of because yes, I have known people from that area and all the rest of it, but I remember being told there one at Whale Beach where the woman I used to work with, the husband's mate or whatever, had done a concreting job, and the guy at Whale Beach had refused to pay him. So he backed the concrete truck up in front of his driveway and dumped a couple of metres of concrete on front of it, and then drove off and said it'll be extra to fucking shift that too, mate.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Why would he refuse to pay a concreter in Sydney, of all the people?
Yeah, well, I mean, you may as well try and rip off a
They are
tow truck driver.
I was going to say they're bikey adjacent.
They're beyond bikey adjacent. They're actual, they've also got
adjacent.
Shares in an undertaking firm. Like
in Sydney, yes. Jesus.
Concrete is like a big, it's a big concrete.
He owns his own concreting business.
Yeah.
Be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't fuck him off.
Anyway, so that was so money.
So what has gone? What has actually closed down? But I've been noticing it.
So the Wee Mall at Kings Meadows.
Ah, that's right. The Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, one of them has gone. But anyway, there's meant to be might be a field trip on the way into town. Go in there and have a look. But I think there's supposed to be 4 or 5 empty shops now. Dear listener, 4 or 5 empty shops in a mall anywhere else on planet Earth would be like, so what?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Put a couple of pop-ups in it and sell some fast fashion. But 4 or 5 shops in there, if that is accurate, would represent a quarter of that building. Like there'd only be 20 specialty shops in there.
Yeah.
Like so funnily enough, it's a tiny little mall, but interestingly, it's the biggest mall in the north of Tasmania, and it's also
Is that the only mall? No, there's another one up the hill.
Ones.
Yeah,
but it's also interesting that it was the first, like most things, it was tested here first. So it was the first
It's
indoor...
a marketplace design, if anyone has one of those where they live, with the same logo, the red, green and yellow thing.
Yeah. So in Australian terms, it's a small suburban,
shop mall.
Strip mall, basically. Not much more than that. But it was if my memory serves, it was the first one in the Southern Hemisphere, certainly the first one in Australia in 1968 as a test.
There's a few empty shops in town as well.
Yeah.
And
have we had any more bars go bust?
No.
Not quite.
Don't think so.
Apart from us at this rate.
We're not going bust. We're just bored.
Oh, we're going to discuss that probably next.
No, but I was shocked to see that I knew it wouldn't work, but the amount of money that they'd outlaid for that acai place, the smoothie shop thing, that didn't even, 6 months max, and big bickies, professional kid
but
out,
that happened with
and
that
it's gutted now as well.
That happens.
Wow.
That happened. Yeah, well, that's not unique to Tassie.
No, I'm not saying it's Tassie. I'm just saying the economy's.
Yeah. Oh well, they were trying to do that during the weird times. The one I'd say was even worse. That was that weirdo bone broth place down in.
Oh yes, I forgot about that one.
Fortune. They spent way more than that. So I don't know.
That was odd though. That was in an ex-church, not even in town.
Ish. Yeah, it was weird.
And by town I mean, Launceston's not that big. There's 4 streets that is in town that other shops are on. There was no other shops near it.
No, I don't think there was much parking.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But they spent a small fortune, like 100,000.
You would hope
least.
it was kind of like us, where they had the premises beforehand, and then what are we going to do with it? And then the wife said, "Oh, I really think bone broth's a great idea," and it's like, oh,
and it was lovely. They'd done a really good job of it.
Not to be too.
Never
we
went.
know nothing about it at all. We wish them all the best.
Wish you well.
But I
just like Gwyneth.
Yeah, it just didn't seem to make any sense. You know what I can genuinely say? I hope they had the money, and I hope it was a punt, and they went,
"Oh fuck, it didn't work."
Oh well, whoops.
Damn it!
Took a shot and missed. Yep. Good idea. Or needed a.
I hope so too, because that's all I think.
Needed a few tax deductions.
They spent all this money, and
I don't know who owned it. Don't know anything about it. So, and same with that. What do you say? A acai or whatever it is. I don't know what that. Don't know. Oh no. I know what that is, but I'm saying I don't know anything about the people that run it or anything. So,
but I said it looked really good, like professional fit out, lots of dollars, professional sign writing, professional build.
But you know how it happens. You start doing these things, the money starts to pile up. You start to argue. Something goes wrong. You're an idiot. You got halfway. I'm not saying this is the case here, but did you get half the way through it? What do you mean we need council approval? And then
no, it was open and running. Oh, maybe.
No, I mean just like because it did take ages for it to even open the doors.
It did. Yes.
So did they have a set of setbacks for whatever reason? But yeah, anyway, it is starting to. But so last night in the bar,
God,
it was a morgue.
Yeah.
Town
was dead.
Town was dead. There was parking spaces everywhere.
Again, are people saving their money for Easter next week?
And that's what I said beforehand. It's so hard. There are so many fucking variables here. COVID was still a variable. Tourism's a variable. What fucking, as I say, complaining. What public holidays available? What stupid Mexican sport they've all decided they have to watch? Because that makes a big deal here.
There's only 3 people here.
What goddamn local festival have they put on to
take all the people out
continue
of the local businesses?
Strangle the thing? What bit of stupid roadwork have they decided to do in the middle of town or nearby? And then you're sitting there and you're just going, it's just not consistent. And the friend that I had in the bar last night, whose name begins with a C and I might happen to box with, he's been in Launceston for a very long time, despite his English accent. And he said, and which I completely believe, he says, Launceston's never been consistent. It's up and down, up and down, up and down, and you never know, you can't bank on it, and that's why it's so difficult. And he's run a small business here for 30 years. And he said, you
You can bank on the fact that it's not consistent.
It's utterly inconsistent. You say you have a great week, and the next week, for no reason, it'll be completely, there'll be a zillion people there, none. You've got no idea why. And I just think that there is so many contributing variables to it here that, because you think a long weekend, but everyone here leaves. Well, I think the two big contributing factors for us is that any public holiday, all the locals instantly fuck off.
Yeah, they go camping
or
fishing.
Or fishing. So we have neighbours that that any instant they go camping and fishing, and it's like, no worries, and more power to you. Like, okay, I get it, change of scenery, but it's not really that much of a change of scenery. They live in the bush and they go camp in the bush, and I'm just going,
you can camp in your backyard.
Camp in your backyard, like camp in my backyard.
Yeah.
Like I've got kilometres of it. I wouldn't even know you were there. It doesn't. That's just a Tassie thing. They like to move. To the same. They go from exactly the same, from one spot to another spot that's almost exactly the same, just geographically, spatially different.
Yes, whereas we like an actual change of scenery.
Yeah.
Like I'll go to a city or a beach or
in their defence,
I'm
they might go to a beach.
I'm going to Burnie next week.
All right. I haven't stopped whinging about the bar yet before we talk about your Burnie thing.
bar, it was a morgue.
Yeah. Like point at you. Yeah.
Me.
Because I know you're avoiding the point. But
it was a weird night last night.
It was really
weird.
So
both of us were on because the head bartender man, I don't know what I'm saying, can't form words.
Yeah, you're exactly where I was 2 days ago, so enjoy tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks. My dude doesn't tell me temperature though, my Fitbit. Anywho, was off, and he's off again tonight.
Yes.
So we were both in there with our third, expecting a fourth, and then the fourth chucked his toys out of his cot on Facebook and quit before his shift. At
basically the time, was it? Because we didn't get the message. He was
stood
supposed
there
to
and
start
I said,
at
"Where's
8.
such and such?" Because it was 8:10,
Yeah.
and it should start at 8. And he's usually very prompt and very reliable. And I went and picked up my phone and just looked on Facebook, and there's a diatribe on there about "I quit."
And then
and it was 2 hours old or something. So.
Right. So technically, he had told us before he would have started.
Yeah.
But
I'm not reading Facebook messages, so it wasn't a message; it was a post.
It was a post.
Yeah, a comment on a post. So I was like, okay, thanks, dude.
We wish him all the best.
We wish him well, but wow.
But yeah,
people do not understand us.
And I'm not going to put the boot into this guy publicly.
No, the only thing I will say before you have your say is that. If you have a question, you should come and ask us. Because generally, we are not trying to have a go at you. We are not.
No.
Yeah.
We're employers.
I'm not having a personal dig at you in any way, shape, or form. If you're misinterpreting what I'm saying, perhaps you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. So how about you come and have a chat with me, and we'll sort it out.
Yeah, if you were working for a company that was fairly straight up and down, and when it comes to formalities and paperwork and payment and all those sort of things, I'm
an angel.
We are absolutely squeaky clean. We invite any audit. We are absolutely, completely,
everything
and utterly
is above board.
Why? Because we
to
have
the point
shitloads
of
of
being
things.
Annoying.
Yep, to the point that we have. To the
I
point
could
of
cut corners heaps, but I don't.
To the point of our accountant goes, "Oh God, you actually did that? Nobody bothers to do that." And it's like, dude, we have so much asset that would be easily redeemable by the Australian Tax Office.
Especially in this climate and environment where people go, I'm just going to sue you.
You don't own that anymore and you can get stuffed. No, we want to make sure we're absolutely beyond reproach.
Yeah.
And we are.
We pay above award rates. We even, will I say, and I won't name names, but people, again, I don't get it. People here in Tassie, they're so weird in that they don't think they're worth anything, so they'll work for a short time and not put a timesheet in for the amount of time that they were there. And then I go, no, if you work, you get paid, and I pay them, even though they haven't technically put in that they should get paid.
Well, this guy, that includes this guy who did an hour of work and went home ill. It was
like,
fine.
you still get paid,
and he
dude.
didn't put in a timesheet.
Yeah, like that's how it works.
So you were there.
So,
and
like,
we did
I
an
pay
hour's
you.
work. So we paid you for an hour.
Yeah, it's work.
Yeah. And then so on all that sort of stuff we're thinking. And then personally, we're I think we're pretty generous and pretty easygoing.
You either love us or you hate us.
We are polarising, and we're seeing in this case where the poles can flip. But Jesus Christ, it's like when did I not ever pay you? When was I ever rude to you? When have I ever been anything not than generous? And I'm not going to run down that rabbit hole because woe is me, like I feel slighted, because I really don't. I just look at it and just go,
okay,
are you all right?
Yeah. Have you had a knock to the head?
And we will definitely see this guy again because he works in another firm that we have no choice but to interact with. So we're going to see this guy and just go, my view is, you're an adult. You've made a decision. I find it unfortunate.
I wouldn't make that decision, but all right.
That's fine. I'm not here to so shake your hand. Okay, so next.
Move on.
I need this and this from you. Thanks.
Yep. Yeah, same.
Yeah, but that also ties back into the where do your money come from?
Yeah, I quit.
Okay.
There's a lot of that here, though, as well. There's a lot of that in general, I think. But he's older, too. I wouldn't have expected that. I see that in a lot of young'uns.
But we've had the other ones. We've had them all cut back on their hours.
Yeah.
So...
People don't want to work.
And it's... I'm going to shut this thing up again. And that's where I sort of made a joke at you the other week. It's like, oh, no, you don't understand. Because you're going, he doesn't want to think. And I said...
yes, you had to explain.
Yeah, you don't understand Poor 101. I know you did Econ 101, 201, Macro and Micro. I understand all of that. But you haven't done Poor Economics.
No, I haven't.
I have. And it's like, so you decide what fixed income that you need, how much your nut is. Like, okay, I need, let's say for argument's sake, we'll
$500.
Yeah, that's quite, because I was going to be silly, but yeah, let's say you need $500 a week, right? And if something comes up, I don't know, let's say you get another roommate and they can contribute an extra $100 a week to your bottom line. So now all of a sudden you've got $600 every week. Poor 101 means you should cut back in other areas, so you just go back to that $500.
So you need $400 a week.
So you only need $400 a week.
But that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
That's because you failed Poor 101,
clearly.
And we're going to have to in summer school we're going to have to re-enroll you, and if you fail twice, I'm going to have you excluded from the university.
God, because again, this is why I don't get it. You're relying on an external source to make all your shit fine, like as you said, the other person with the $100. What happens if that other $100 goes away?
Oh no, Poor 101. Then you need to get back to you. That's where Poor 101 and Econ 101, overlap a bit in the Venn diagram. Okay, when you're under, okay, you need to find another way to make your $100, and there is a limitless supply of opportunity for you, both legal and illegal, to make your extra $100. But
then, wouldn't you like to have 600 rather than 400?
Well, but this is Econ 101 is where you would go, right, that extra $100, I don't need it, but I still have it, so I can do it. I'll put that aside, and I'll either save it, and to which the Asian entrepreneur go, a penny saved, still a fucking penny. Yeah. Someone like me would go, right, that $100 you invest.
Or 50-50.
Or 50-50. Or
50 rainy day, 50 blow it.
Yeah.
Something.
If you're dirt poor, to begin with, let's not start your international... Yeah. Multinational conglomerate. Let's just put the $100 away until you got 500 or 1,000. Because that was my way of always doing it with budgets. I never had a budget. I'd have a gangster roll, and like I did
I never had a budget, but I had the red zone. I used to call it.
It's the same thing.
So I didn't like my bank account going below a certain number because that made me itchy.
Mention the number.
No. And when it would literally make
me itchy. Wasn't $1,000, people.
No.
Wasn't even 10.
Anywho, because
I don't feel comfortable with less than $100,000 in the
bank. It's stressful. Having... Stop it. I don't have that now, do I?
Yes, you do. Oh.
Maybe. Anyway, don't know. If you know how much money you've got, you haven't got enough. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know how... That would be stressful for me. I don't like...
We're not going to mention numbers, but just think of actual cash on hand available that you can withdraw with the cards on your back pocket, not including credit.
Yeah, that's fine. Anywho, moving along. It's not about me. I'm frugal.
Have I said on there the time you go to the op shop? Today we're having a special. All red dot things are 2 items off and I'm behind it.
It's crass. That's why. It's
ask
crass
her how
to
much
talk
she's
about
worth.
money.
I agree, and that's why I'm not talking about money. Yes. I'm talking about you going to the...
I don't like being treated any differently in the op shop to everyone else. What difference does it make how much my bank balance is to hers?
Yeah, I'm literally, as I said, like in History of the World Part 1, where the peons behind Julius Caesar going, "Remember thou art mortal, remember thou art mortal." He's walking down the field, and I'm just going, how much are you worth?
Doesn't matter.
How many houses you got?
That's $5. That's a good deal. I'll have that. Thank you.
Yellow Spot. This is why this poor girl said. And Yellow Spot's like, ask her what she's worth.
Yeah.
Because she also, when you were checking out, she said, "Oh, there's 50 cents off that today." And I'm fucking creasing over laughing. They're looking at me like my hair's on fire because I'm going. And you're going. That's what, you're bright red. Going, yes. Thank you very much. It's like, for fuck's sake, give them the money.
No.
Just give.
No, thank you.
Would you like to pay extra 10 cents for a bag? No, fuck off.
I have got a couple of Salvos bags. I don't need another one. But yes, there's always a deal. And I have a Salvos card, which all adds up. It's like 5 cents per increment. But
this is where I'm going to stare right down the barrel of the camera and go, my God.
Anywho, I'm not fussed if I forget my card. I got a free item last time, I think, because I had...
Worse than Bill Gates buying ice cream in the 80s. You know, I've got a coupon for that, and everyone's going, fuck Bill, I've got this.
No. What difference does it make? Anywho, but yeah, I don't know.
Funny.
I don't know where people's money's coming from.
I don't either. Like,
and
seriously,
as I said, that would be stressful for me.
So
I'd prefer to have more money on hand.
So if people that work for us at the moment in various jobs, so no singling anyone out.
No, all sorts of
things. We've had one quit on at best a misunderstanding, at worst I don't know.
No, I don't know.
And another go, oh, I don't need as much work now, and going, I unfortunately know your circumstances well enough that I'm just going, you do, like you do, you really do.
But it's also, I think it's also interesting from a perspective that your circumstances aren't great. All of these people, pretty much. Your circumstances aren't great. They're never going to change if you don't do something about it. And from the behaviour that I'm seeing right now, they're never going to... Like, your life is never going to change. Because you're not... Yeah. Like, you're not doing any more work. You're not getting any more income. Like, I don't... Yeah. Have you just given up and that's it? And they're not old either.
But they're not young, are they?
Yeah, but they're still, like... They're not 20-year-olds, but they're not 80-year-olds. Like, you've got years to sort that out.
Well, my argument's the opposite, which was like when we're talking about housing in the last one, is no, you've got 20 years left before you're...
Decrepit.
Before you've got 20 years left before you... No, you've got 20 years left. I think that's sooner than that. But you've only got 20 years left before you hit the government-mandated super age, and at that age, if you're paying rent, you are not going to enjoy your golden years.
No. Interesting to see what Australia looks like in 20 years, because wow.
Well,
let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, I'll just sort of say, if you believe the Elon Musk way of things or the Peter Zion way of things, is that there's going to be a population crash, and I always thought, and this is why they're bringing in immigrants with their ears pinned back and people can't understand it.
So many people racist on Facebook at the moment. Says me, the racist Nazi turf.
You are. The point I'm trying to make as you talk over the top of me, which I'm not used to, is...
yes, you are.
is... God damn you. Yeah, like in Australia where I can see, is definitely all the baby boomers rattling around 4 and 5 bedroom houses in good suburbs in Sydney. They are 10 years and they're all fucked because the baby boomers now are 75.
Yeah.
And, you know,
But
average average lifespan in Australia is 82 and 83.
They don't have enough nursing home places either, so they're going
but
to have
they're
to stay
gonna
in
die.
their houses.
Yeah, there's all those reasons for it, but they want to, and yada yada yada. But in 10 years,
they're going to pop their clogs.
Yeah, we're coming off that fucking bell curve, and we're heading to nothing. So there's going to be there has to be. I always thought there'd have to be a bit of a lull in housing, because there's going to be a shit ton more on the fucking market.
Okay.
And you're also right about that funny bit where they're circling the drain, and you know, but I guess the house just flips, and then it goes into, and then they go into retirement, or
the eldest child takes it.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's where the argument comes, because
And then
the eldest child
and then
quite
it goes
happily.
to probate, and they always have to sell it. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying while dear old mum and dad's still alive, you know, like there's that point where
Don't know. Anyway, so it's a bit weird at the moment.
yes, it's all very weird. So I don't know how we got onto that from the other, but so that's where we finally pretty close. This vanity project of mine, this stupid bar. I mean,
Well, as I said to you, 3 years is the new 5 years.
It's got to go. It's got to go.
Yeah. Oh, Crazy Duck was the other one.
Oh yeah.
That's what
maybe what we're thinking about.
There's a restaurant up in Georgetown, which is a very nice restaurant in a kind of shitty place, but the restaurant was good, and it's terminating its lease after 3 years.
Yeah. And it's interesting they use the language terminating the lease rather than not
re-upping.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're trying to make it very clear that they didn't go broke, that they've had enough.
I don't know.
They had a food truck as well at one point.
Did they?
Yeah.
What, up there?
No, here in the Kingsway,
Oh.
in front of the barbers.
Oh.
That was their food truck. Is it still there?
Oh. Was that a food truck to begin with, and then they went up there? Was that what it was? I think that might have been the case. I'm not sure.
Anyway.
Fascinating local news. But in summary, next podcast we'll be able to tell you if tonight's another wash again, apart from the fact that there's fucking AFL on.
Gonna be some changes.
Well, it's just more a case where we can clearly say, looks like the economy is going south.
Yeah.
Here. Because a lot of stuff's starting to close, and it's getting beyond the stuff that didn't make any sense. Because all the ones that closed that made sense, that's fine. I don't
have to take a walk around town again and see what's what. Because I had a quick look on one of the real estate places that I follow, and there's a lot for lease. That's where I saw that other one. I was like, oh god, really? That's gone.
Well, that's where I keep saying about like bars and things. We're looking at the other small bars in town. We know we are experts in Launceston small bars. We have one of them. We've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I can just stand there and tell how much money they're making to the dollar. And a lot of these places all have much more overhead than us. Like you couldn't get a better balance sheet than ours. We'd have the best balance sheet of all of them.
None of them
own their own
they're all
premises.
except one's for sale.
Yeah.
And then the rest are all just trundling on somehow.
But so many of them, you're looking at it and just going, you got 3 people in, you're 5 times the size of us, you got 5 times as many staff on, you have to pay your rent, you've got all your other outgoings, and I'm going, how do you is there some massive Tuesday that we don't notice? Like, because we've seen that time and time and time and time again.
Maybe they're getting handouts. I don't know.
How? Well, we've complained about that too, but
I don't think so. Anyway,
I don't think so either.
I'm going to sneeze. And so it begins.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, that's probably
my Fitbit's telling me to move.
I think your face trying to blow off your head is telling you to do something too. So that might be it. So that was just saying just last night sucked. Just sitting. So we closed at like
10:30.
10:30 on a Friday night after taking $300 over the bar or something. $350. Oh, $350. Woof.
Which is an absolute shit Friday.
Yeah. That's
beyond shit.
Yeah. That's 8%.
Yeah.
And it's 8% of a Good Friday. And then just sat there with the bloke I box with and another kind of regular in the bar, and just had a drink and just sat there with the one man left standing barman, who hilariously shout out to him is that he's got more money than us put together, bless him. But that's the thing, I do this for a social outlet, and a man's got to work, and it's like, yes. Thank you, 25-year-old who fucking gets it. I do this, and what else am I going to do?
I think
you say sit at home with a taco on one end and a dick in the other, and it's like, it's like, that is a direct quote. It's like, no, I come in here because I'm going to be up anyway, and I'll come and do it, and it's a social outlet, and it's fun. It's easy work. I make a couple of things. I have a couple of drinks. I
chat
pick a
some
bird
pretty girls,
out, and I go home. And it's like,
well done, sir.
Like, fuck, it's not hard, is it? And
different mindset.
Different mindset. That, again, on paper, he may well be a trust fund baby. Yeah, maybe. But in actuality,
he's not.
He works, and he's been put to work.
Seriously good work ethic.
Yeah, brilliant good work. Would you stop working, mate? I've knocked you off. Sit down, have a drink. That's an order.
Drilled into him.
I will fire you and then rehire you just before the next thing if you don't sit down. So there's nothing more to do, mate. Just sit down. Yeah. I can just look. I'm just going to do this, and then it's like,
farmer's son.
God, farm kid. So pro tip: until recently, I had 100%. Now I've got a 50% strike rate.
No, he's not. He's the proper farmer one.
Yeah, but I was going to say hire rurals.
No, I'd go as far as saying farm.
Find farm kids.
Farm people. Yeah.
Yeah. So
if they know how to drive a tractor and chase a cow.
Yeah. They complain about their cat being sick and going,
yeah.
What did he say? He was going
to put his cat down. But his dad said, oh no, I can't like that cat, I'll chip in.
And I said,
cat came home with a broken tail, apparently. Yeah. And I said, did it get stuck in a door? And he goes, I don't know, I think it had a fight. And then he said, I'm just going to, pulled his finger across his neck. And then his old man said, I don't mind that cat, I'll chip in for the vet bills. So, I don't know what the cat's name is.
Don't know.
But it's on methadone.
Yeah, Lucky's on methadone.
That makes me laugh.
I told you that my grandfather had that. He had the dog had. This again makes you sad. The dog had. This is proper farming stuff. Yeah, his dog had a litter of pups, and he put all the pups down except for one and named it Lucky.
But that was the other thing. Was slightly touching back on the inflation. The same. Bar dude was saying he took $5 into Woolworths the other day to buy a packet of chips
and couldn't.
It was $7.50. And he had to ask his mate, have you got a card? I haven't got any money. Red Rock Deli chips. I said, how big was the bag? And he goes, just the normal bag of chips was $7.50.
And didn't he say, somebody said it was because of the potato shortage or something? And he's a spud farmer. He's going, I know a bloke.
Yeah.
I'll bring the spuds. You bring the seasoning. We'll make it happen. He's such a good kid. So,
he's a funny bugger.
He's the son I never wanted.
Anyway.
But
So tonight will be interesting. We're going to get it tonight.
Yeah. So where we're opening, just fuck all of them.
Open from 8.
Open from 8.
See how we go.
We'll see how we go. But again, especially if you know who happens to be watching, we don't begrudge them having time off or anything like that. But I mean, it's just one of those things which I don't think the real thing I don't think they get is the whole idea. Well, why don't you put more people on? And it's like because
there's 10 hours.
Because there's not enough work for. Yeah. If I could have a roster of 10 people and just sort of roll them through, well, happy days. But it's not worth your while.
No, that's what I mean. There's 10 hours to split between 3 people.
It's worth your while this week when you want to go off gallivanting or take some time off or whatever. But it's not. But what about the next 3 months when you go, oh, I want 20 hours a week, or this job isn't worth my time, and it's like, well, mate, it's going to be 10 hours because I'm splitting it with someone else. But then I've got two people that I can either have one person properly employed, or I can have two people that aren't properly employed, and I'll lose both of them.
Yeah, and not to mention you train two people, like we invest,
which costs money.
So we invest time, effort, and training into everyone who's ever been through the door.
Yeah, and that's what we did recently.
And we've had a few of them.
We've definitely had two.
Yeah, and we started off doing like proper training, like serious paid, like
come in
hours and hours of training, because you got to learn how to make the cocktails and blah blah blah. And then we gave up at one point. We were like, fuck it, just throw you in the deep end, because they don't give a shit. And
we were upfront about it. We told them, we're just going to throw you in the deep end.
See how you go, because we've invested so much money in these people and they're not here anymore.
Yeah. So you invest literally $1,000 worth of paid money, where I haven't got a cent back, and then I don't want any shifts.
Yeah, and then they move on.
And
awesome.
and I'm sure
none of them are independently wealthy.
and you're all going, oh, woe is me, rich guy. But I'm going, but that's how society's meant to function, you idiots. Like that. Like, yeah, I'm happy to do it, but there has to be a little obligation back. Isn't a sin. Like, just that little bit of courtesy. It's not, it's not all about you, and it's not all about me either, at all.
It's give and take.
It's got to be a little bit of give and take.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it just seems like. So that's why, again, I was just sort of say, I'm really sorry about this, but I'm not wasting any money on you to begin with until you fucking prove yourself. And then other people go, why is no one fucking trained in these places anymore? But hilariously, I still think even when we go, oh, we're throwing you in the deep end. Like,
but I think we're not really, no.
No, I think that compared to a lot of other places I see, you do comprehensive on-the-job training.
Anyway.
Because it just does want to get, here's the keys, just call the police if there's a real problem.
No,
I'll be on a beach in Spain.
Can't do it.
Anyway.
I need to go and have some drugs.
Yeah, we stopped complaining. Alright.
Go on, say it.
No.
Beware of wolves.
Off you go, my children.
There you go. Beware of wolves.
Beware of your staff.
God, if you've got any left.
We've got one left.
Well, my final passing comment, go and have a look at Joe Rogan's Instagram. Sorry, Blair White's Instagram this morning made me laugh out loud. 2.5 men. Her, Joe Rogan, Michael Malice. Very good.
Anyway, see you later.